In today's video, we are going to be tackling 3 more beautiful neutral fall DIYs that you might just want to make for your fall home decor. Let's go ahead and jump right on in. For our first DIY, we are going to be using this wood round I got for $3 in the Target dollar spot. I thought it kind of looked like a pumpkin. It was cute. And this Hello Autumn sign that I got in a pack from Dollar Tree. I started off painting this Hello Autumn sign white, but you're going to see I do change my mind a little bit later in the video. I set it on top of my paint can to dry, and then I moved on to my wood round. I have this kind of leftover scrap eucalyptus, I believe it's eucalyptus, from Walmart, and I was trying to decide, do I want to put it at the bottom or the top? I decided to go with the top, and I'm just going to be making kind of a swag. I'm just trying to get my placement here, and then I'm going to be taking the wood round away and using some floral wire just to kind of get my swag in place. I'm going to be pulling in some twine from Dollar Tree, and I just wanted to wrap that middle part so it looked a little bit more finished. So I'm just going to put down some hot glue using my finger protectors and stick my twine on, and I'm just going to wrap it around a bunch of times until I get the look that I'm going for, and then I'm going to secure it at the very end with hot glue. I didn't really use hot glue in the middle. I didn't really feel like there was a need to. So just at the start and the finish of me wrapping my twine is where I used that hot glue. I am terrible at bows, but I cut 4 little pieces of twine and I tied them into like a little twine bow. Not the best at making bows, but I wanted something to kind of go on my little swag at the top. I then found my placement and I put a ton, guys, a ton of hot glue down, and I held this here for probably minutes. I'm not going to make you suffer through that, but I did hold this on here for quite a while because I didn't want it to come apart. I then decided to pull out some scrap faux leather that I had from Dollar Tree. I just felt that that little sign was just going to look weird on its own. So I took my ruler and I cut a strip. I didn't want it to cover up too much of the wood round because I did like the color of it. So I just used my ruler as kind of the width of my strip and went ahead and cut it out. I'm now just doing a dry fit of the placement, making sure that I like the size of the strip that I have. And this is where I decided the white just wasn't working for me. So I decided to go in with some light gray chalk paint and paint this all over again. I thought it would look a little bit better with the color scheme that we have going on. Here we have it. And you might be wondering, you didn't show us gluing it on. Well, my phone had died when I was recording and I did all that and it didn't record it. So I'm just going to glue my sign on now. Sorry about that, guys. And my hot glue gun, I definitely need a new one. It is not heating up the hot glue the way it should. And my hot glue is just not sticking very well, but I'm just kind of rolling with it for now. I then decided to fluff my leaves a little bit and then glue just some of the edges down because I wanted it to be in a certain spot and I didn't want it to move on me as people walked by it or maybe touch this piece when I go to decorate for fall. So I'm just going to be tacking a few of those eucalyptus leaves down with some hot glue, and then I'm going to be adding my bow right to the center, and then we'll see the final reveal. And here we have the final result. I think this is my favorite fall DIY that I've made this season so far. Let me know what you think down below. For this DIY, we're using an old board that I had laying around from a previous project, and we're going to be like faux staining it. I am using raw umber, which is a really dark brown. I'm going to mix that with some water, and I'm going to use a foam brush to apply it all over my board. Now, I did the top, the sides, and the bottom, even though, oops, yeah, I spilled a little. Even though we're not going to be seeing the bottom, I wanted this piece to just be overall nice and complete. So I just soaked the top, and then I'm going to take a paper towel and just wipe everything off, any of that excess. So I'm just going to stain this entire board, and that's going to be a good base for our project. I am now going to pull in this adorable truck that I actually found from Dollar Tree, and we're going to give this a bit of a paint job. I decided to go with a gray because I wanted things to be neutral, and I didn't want to use that wall color again because I'm sure you guys are tired of seeing that wall color. So I'm going with a chalk paint in gray, and I'm doing a messy coat. You'll see that I'm not really focusing on the wheels because I'm actually going to be covering those I made this template, and this worked out kind of, but my original plan was to make this template and kind of draw the circle on there after tracing it a bit, cutting it out, and then I'm going to be using some black faux leather from Dollar Tree to create the wheels. Now you're going to see that I ended up not liking the round part at the top of the wheel. So the template did come in handy to get it nice and straight and curved around the bottom of the wheel. But when I went to actually glue this on, I decided to actually go straight across on the top of the wheel. I thought it looked a little bit better, and I'm going to use a ruler to do that. You're going to see in a minute. So for now, I'm just cutting out my 2 wheels before I go ahead and place them on my truck. Once I did that, I kind of positioned them a little bit, and then I flipped them upside down underneath the truck so that I could trace out the circle for the middle of the wheels. I liked it that it had like that hole in the middle, so it actually looked like a wheel. And then I'm just going to simply cut that out on both of my wheel pieces. This is where I decided that I didn't really like the rounded top, so I'm going to take a ruler, draw a line, and just cut straight across. I just thought it looked a little bit better and not as messy as the rounded top of the wheel that I had drawn. I'm going to be using some hot glue and my finger protector to attach these wheel pieces on to the wheels of our truck. I'm now flipping it over and going to the back side, and I want to create a little box to put a little bit of foam in so that I can put some greenery in here. So I'm just going to take a popsicle stick, using lots and lots of hot glue, and I'm just kind of creating a form for my foam to sit into so that you can't see it when the sign is all put together. I reinforced with some hot glue, and then I just took some foam, measured what I was going to need. It's a very, very small piece, but it does come in handy to keep that floral or that greenery sitting up straight the way that you want it. Once I had the piece cut exactly how I wanted it to be so that you could not see it from like a front on view, I went ahead and took some hot glue and secured that foam piece down. I wanted to use these wood blocks from Dollar Tree to kind of elevate my piece, but I realized the popsicle stick was a little bit taller than those wood pieces. So I just trimmed a little bit off and then glued these little wood blocks so that I could elevate my piece off of the sign that we painted brown, that blank wood that we had painted brown. I then went ahead, glued it on. I used lots of hot glue, and I am putting the hot glue on those wood blocks so that it holds nice and firm. While I was holding this last piece in to dry, I decided to go around with a Sharpie and just get the edges of the tires. I didn't like that you could see the natural color of this wood truck kind of showing through. I wanted the tires to be black, so I got the outside and the inside rim of those tires just with the Sharpie. I then took some leftover greenery that I had from Walmart. This is eucalyptus, I believe, and I just went ahead and stuffed it right on into that foam. I didn't hot glue anything down because since this is so neutral, I could always change it up. Now you can do some more vibrant colors because this is a fall DIY, but I wanted to stick more neutral. I decided to attach a little bow that I had made just off camera because I'm not good at making bows to my truck just to add a little bit of something, and then we are going to have the finished product. I love the way this turned out. It is super cute and super sturdy. And since I didn't connect any of my florals, I can always switch them out if I do want to do a little bit of a brighter color and do something less neutral. Let me know what you think about this in the comments down below, and if you might try something similar to this for your own fall home decor. For our last DIY today, we're going to be taking these candles that I got from Dollar Tree and these beautiful napkins that you're going to see from Target. I did remove the sticker from the candle, by the way. And then I got this pack of napkins from Target. I believe it was like $2 or $3, and I just thought that they were really gorgeous and would give a neutral vibe for fall. I'm going to be doing 2 different candles, and I wanted to test 2 different ways. So this first one, I am going to be pulling off 2 of the plies. This is a 3-ply napkin. I'm going to be pulling off the 2 white plies, and then having the beautiful colored one is the one that I'm using. I'm then going to be mixing some normal school glue with some water in a cup, and I'm going to be using that as my adhesive. Now I do have Mod Podge, but not everybody does, and if you do have some glue at home, this is a trick that you can use to help you if you want to do any kind of decoupage or anything. So I'm going to be spreading that glue all over that candle, and then I'm going to be sticking the tissue paper to it. And let me tell you, this was tricky. It does bubble a little bit, so pre-warning, and it was kind of hard to get the tissue wrapped around. But I will say that this one turned out way better than the second one that I made. I did just rip off any of the excess and any of that stuff on the bottom. I would suggest cutting it because ripping it didn't go all so well. I then gave the entire thing a layer of glue and let it dry overnight. And you really want to cover this because you want it to be nice and rock solid for when you go to put it in your decor. Now, this is the one that didn't go according to plan. I decided to use 2 plies and only remove one of the plies. I just wanted to see if it would work a little bit better, if it would be worse, whatever. Well, it was worse, let me tell you. I did decide to put glue all over the candle first, which I actually liked a lot more, but I would recommend putting the tissue paper on sideways, so having the tissue paper laying down and rolling your candle, because this up and down way created a ton of bumps that I did not want and did not need, and it was much messier this way. And here we have the final result. The candle that you're going to see in the front that's lower is the one with 1 ply, and the one in the back is the one with 2 ply. And I definitely like that first candle a lot better. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you found it helpful or entertaining. Make sure that you check out the video and the playlist on the screen. And as always, smash that subscribe button so you can become part of our YouTube family. Thanks again for watching, and let us know in the comments down below which fall DIY was your favorite.